The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The symbols. I'm gonna
pause for
love,
silence.
yeah, I'm gonna love it. We're putting the I think shout out again to the Kind of Funny podcast for the second straight week. They used to do this on the Game Over Greggy show, the first iteration. They would just pause randomly in the middle of the episode to make the audio listeners question whether something was wrong with their device. They called it the pregnant pause. We did that right at the beginning of the show here. So
Yes,
but we do it our way, the no
Yes.
credentials required way.
that's right. The Saturday Brunch Edition way.
Yeah.
Which thank you for joining us on the Saturday Brunch Edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports, or in this case, in this episode, food. We are presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts. To my right is my co-host with the mostest, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. Hopefully I look better than I did on last night's Seahawks sessions. I think one Staniel Smooth was concerned. If he shows up in the comments, we'll have to talk about it today. But I am very excited, Ryan, not only because I get to sit down with you, which is one of the highlights of my Saturdays and my Tuesday nights. Tune in both times, everybody. And we also, you just pointed it out, we're talking about food. You and I love food. We love to eat. We love to, we both love to make food. For a couple of bachelors, I think both of us can get after it in the kitchen better than the average bear. Maybe,
that makes us absolute catches in my mind.
That's true.
Hello,
That's
ladies.
true.
We're here.
But I'm very excited to break down every food-related item on the show. We also do have a touch of football news, but I'm going to hand the mic back over to you. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's Saturday. I don't have anything going on after today, which is great. Last night, the Albany, I didn't get a chance to go to the game, but the Albany Firebirds started their AF1 campaign finally. With a convincing victory over the Southwest Kansas Storm, 78-20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. We gotta have friend of the show, Levesque and Gaz. We gotta have both those guys on.
Yes,
especially Levesque can discuss it all with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll have to pay their 69-cent appearance fee, which will be Venmoed to them right before the show, but
I'm happy to throw in half of that. We split everything on the show.
You can pay 69 cents to Levac. I'll pay 69 cents to guys.
All right, that works. That works.
All right, and tonight is an important game for the Albany Firewolves because they've been on the kind of had a slow start this year, but they're starting to bring it around, and they're in sniffing distance. No pun intended, of a playoff spot. So, yeah, it's exciting times back in upstate New York. It's getting towards the end of the National Lacrosse League season, and the Firebirds they're starting up. So, it's great. It's great times. And hey, Valley Cats, they're coming soon too. They're coming back soon.
Can't
too.
wait.
So,
can't wait for the Valley Cats.
I'm looking forward to a nice summer's night at the Joe Bruno Stadium. So. It's a good time. And I've always said, if we ever had a no credentials required like Creds head meeting, we would do that. We would try to go to if they're still playing Firewolves game, Firebirds game, and a experience at the ballpark for the Valley Cats. So, but we're gonna get things going, and we'll talk about the menu today on the Saturday brunch, as Dustin mentioned. We're going to talk about Scotty Scheffler's Masters menu. We're going to talk about Yankees ballpark offerings. We might try to fit in the list, another edition of the list. We'll try to do that. We'll also talk about Jameis Winston signing with the New York Giants. Last night we got the news that George Foreman passed away. We'll talk about him and not only his impact on boxing, but also his impact on culture, because that's important too.
Yeah,
and
sure.
our favorite athletes to wear the number 21. But before we do that, we'll take care of some things on the business side. We want to make sure you follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search No Credentials Required. And also check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, and Pandora. It's also available on our YouTube page after the show. And get notified on both Twitter and on YouTube. That way you know when live videos are up, when we have clips. Like yesterday, I posted a video I made of an unfortunate happening with the Buffalo Sabres.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed. It was just an organic reaction. I don't mean to twist the knife, Sabres fans. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's for so much stuff that people give me for being a Jets fan and how long we've been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Buffalo fans are feeling the same way. So, but at least they have the Bills.
They do have the Bills, yes, and they have their quarterback for a very long time with that
Yes.
re-extension. So
Yes. On the podcast side, you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts. You can also rate, leave us a 5-star rating would be helpful. If you're on a platform where you can, leave a review. Also, leave a comment in the comment section on Spotify and on YouTube. Like I said, it will be live on YouTube, but this will be replayed on Belly Up Sports YouTube page. So you'll be able to catch the audio version, which will be uploaded on our RSS feed through Megaphone. So you'll definitely want to check that out. But in the meantime, rate, review, comment. We're a live show on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, although we had to push it up a little bit today. Dustin had some technical difficulties with his French press.
I did.
That's not a euphemism. That actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Throughout, we're covering sports, we're covering culture, we're covering food, but we're a live show. And we want to hear you in the comment section, whether you're watching on Twitter, whether you're watching on our YouTube page, whether you're watching on today, we're on the Belly Up Sports Facebook page. So comment there as well. And I know it's been a long week for the both of us, Dustin, work wise, but this time of the show always lifts my spirit.
Lift us up. It's chime time.
Hallelujah. All right. So, and you got one comment, but it's from Facebook. It says during this broadcast, you can support the creator by sending stars, a digital gift that helps us earn money. So yes. So if you're watching on Facebook, please do. Please share. To give us a star. All right. So this episode, as we talked about in the pregame and leading up to the business side, it's all about the hot food takes today.
Oh yeah.
But this is going to be an extended version of hot food takes. In that, the Masters is coming up. I think next in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, next couple of weeks, I'd say, because it's usually early April. And let me ask you, so, okay, quick aside, Ryan, related to the Masters. So I know many people consider Memorial Day the unofficial start of summer, right? So do you consider, now I know the first day of spring recently just happened. But I don't usually, what signals the start of spring to me truly is the Masters. I feel like once the Masters hits, spring has truly sprung. Do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I definitely feel the same way. And yeah, you could say baseball is kind of the line where you say, okay, it's finally spring. No, it's the Masters, because you're actually a couple weeks into it. And yeah, this is when usually people go out, and at least especially in the Northeast, where they start hitting the links and going into getting their golf game on. So I got myself some new golf clubs a few years ago, and I haven't really gotten the chance to go out and hit with those golf clubs. So I'm gonna try to do that this spring and summer.
All right, here we go. Here we go. A little live planning on the show. I have clubs. I haven't used them in a very long time. Candidly, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, I like being on the golf course, hanging out, maybe having a brewski, golfing at a leisurely pace, but I'm terrible. But what I really enjoy, even though I'm still terrible at it, let's you and I hit up the driving range and just smack a bucket of balls, man. Let's do that.
There you go. So we're going to discuss, and this, again, it's a very extended edition of Hot Food Takes, Scotty Scheffler's Masters dinner menu. Now, if you're not familiar with what this dinner is, every year before the Masters begins, and I looked up the date, did some real-time research while Dustin was riffing, it's April 10th through 13th this year.
Okay.
So it's usually the second week. It's usually the second weekend in April. So every year, before the actual ceremonies begin with teeing out with the actual tournament, on Wednesday night there is a special dinner, and the menu is determined by the previous year's winner. And I gotta say, Scotty Scheffler, he hasn't even teed off yet, and he's already won the Masters. In my book. Okay, listen to this dinner. And this is on April. It's actually on April 8th, so it's the Tuesday before festivities begin. So this menu, I shared this with my sister last night, and she's like, "I want to go. Like, why didn't you get into golf?" Sometimes I ask myself the same thing, like, why didn't I get into golf? Why didn't I listen to my dad all those years ago? Oh, I want to play football. I want to play baseball. I want to play this. No, you should consider golf. Now I'm like, Dad was right.
Well, I believe, just a quick aside, if people want to go back into the archives and check it out, I believe in addition of the list, we did our our bucket list items, and I think the Masters was on there for some of us.
Yes. So on April 8th, it's the Masters Club dinner, and here's his menu. We're starting with the appetizers. This is the appetizers, all right?
All right. I'm in.
Cheeseburger sliders served Scotty style. I don't know what Scotty style is.
Yeah.
But it has to be good.
We should look that up and then make our own version of it in a special edition of No Kitchen Required, coming to a kitchen near you.
Let's see. Scotty Scheffler. Oh, okay.
Spin-offs on this show. I've talked about it before, but everybody should be. Ryan's brilliance in naming this show is perfect, because we can just spin it off into whatever we want. No kitchen required. We've talked about it. It may happen.
So, okay. So this is what Scotty style is.
All right.
So he explains, and he was on the New Heights podcast. It's like, come on, guys, can we have our own like space for like professional athletes? Stop with the podcast, okay?
There are so many.
Too many. He says, and he says, I quote, and this is on the Masters this is on masters.com. It says, it was simple as cheeseburgers, my favorite food. I don't eat them now as often as I did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a little bit more of what I eat now, but Scotty style, I always put the fries on my burger, and that's what Scotty style is.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to try that for sure.
I've actually tried Permanente Brothers. If you're not familiar with what Permanente Brothers is, it's a brisket sandwich, or pastrami sandwich, where they put in slaw, I think apple cider vinegar,
okay,
cheese, and French fries, and it's all in the sandwich.
Oh, that sounds good. I've heard the name before, but I've never had it.
It's a Pittsburgh institution.
Okay.
But I had it in Hershey. I went a couple of years ago down to Hershey and had myself a late night snack with a Permanente Brothers sandwich with an Iron City light brew.
Oh, nice. Well, isn't there a minor league Pittsburgh affiliate where the food options are insane at the minor league ballpark? I'm trying to remember if it's Altona or one of their other one of their other affiliates, because I think Altona's their double A, if I remember correctly.
The Altoona Curve.
Yeah, the Altoona Curve. Yeah, I don't know if it's there, but I remember Tristan Cockraff and Eric Carabell used to talk about it. There was like one from the ESPN Fantasy Baseball podcast, which is no longer, but there was one particular ballpark where the food options were just crazy. And I think it might have been in Pittsburgh. I'm not 100% sure, though, or close to Pittsburgh.
We'll have to look that up and do a bonus episode of hot food takes.
Yeah.
So appetizers continuing. Cheeseburger sliders served Scotty style. That's a cheeseburger with French fries in them. Then firecracker shrimp with sweet Thai chili and sriracha mayo.
I'm down with that, too.
And then Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites with pecorino cheese and tomato basil sauce.
I would, what are they going to do? Because I would legitimately show up and they'd be like, oh, sir, which appetizer would you like? And I would say all of them. Bring me all of them right now.
Yes. Hold the mayo for me. Then we go to the first course. This is first course. Texas style chili with cheddar cheese, jalapenos, and corn chips.
That's the way for me. Texas chili, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but it means no beans.
No beans.
I'm a fan of Texas chili for real.
It is chili con carne. I almost like con carnage. Chili con carne.
Well, you got to make up your own chili now.
That's what my chili is called. Yeah, I call it chili con carnage. Shout out to regular ordinary Swedish meal time for that name idea. So that's the first course. Then we have the main course. And eat your choice of either wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish, served with family-style macaroni and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, and chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes.
Okay, so for me, this is the easiest one. I mean, the redfish, I would try it. I had a visceral reaction because when you said red, if you went with red snapper, I was going to be like, no, I'm not doing it. Because red snapper, I worked at the Price Chopper Seafood Department back in the day. Red snapper is the most annoying fish to prep. Its skin is very resilient. It's a lot of work to deal with it. But I will say this is easy for me. I'm going that cowboy ribeye all day. That's my option right there.
And then dessert. Warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream.
This is the move. This is the move right here. I love those. Shout out to a place that's right down the road from me, BJ's Brew House. They do skillet cookie. If you haven't had it, Ryan, you got to go. They have the Pazookies.
We've ordered from there.
That's right. We
haven't had the Pazookies.
Oh, the Pazookies. I've had them before. They got different options. All right, that's it. We're going and we're having a few brews. I'm making a lot of plans this episode because we got things to check off here. We do. You were good. We got to make a return trip to the Speckled Pig because you and I did not get to try as many items on the menu as we wanted to at that fine establishment. But I know BJ's, I'll say it, they're not on the level of the Speckled Pig, but the Pazookie is the truth, man.
That's what I've heard. And I'm already making a bet in my local sports book. It's for Scotty Scheffler to be the outright winner of the Masters.
The menu has impacted you that much.
The menu has impacted me that much to go out and make a small like $2.50 bet on Scotty Scheffler winning the Masters. It's a plus 350, so it's It's $11.75 return if he wins. So
this might be his tactic. I'm getting a little tinfoil hatty. So he comes out with this fire menu, right? Imagine, somebody eats the sliders, and then they decide to go with, then they have the Texas chili, and then they have the cowboy ribeye there, and then for dessert they're having a skillet cookie. they might not wake up for the Masters the next day. Scotty might be taking some of his competition out.
It'll take you 2 days to recover,
Yeah.
literally and figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
So this got me thinking about our hypothetical Masters dinner menus, and if we ever to quit our jobs, be the best amateur golfers in New York, and then try to win the Masters. I asked Dustin, I said, why don't we come up with our own hypothetical menus?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand it over to you, Dustin. What is your hypothetical Masters dinner menu?
Okay. Well, for me, I forgot that he had that many appetizer options, but I'm kind of basic when it comes to an appetizer option, but I will say I would do some type of like egg roll. There's all different types of egg rolls you can make. I would definitely do that. I would take his idea, except it wouldn't be burger sliders for me, although I love burger sliders. I would make a hot chicken sandwich or a fried chicken sandwich slider option. Those have really ascended I love making a hot chicken sandwich. And if you haven't tried a fried chicken sandwich with a little bit of Alabama white sauce, I learned what that was thanks to Conrad Thompson from Alabama himself. So if you haven't tried that, I would recommend trying that. So that's my first option. I would have either like I said, like egg roll or chicken sandwich sliders. I would also do my Uncle Bill makes it. Shout out to him. This again, sorry everybody, but we're carb loading. I thought about putting fried calamari in there. I love fried calamari, but calamari is an acquired taste for some people. So I would want to make sure that everybody found something they would like. So shout out my Uncle Bill. He makes this pull apart cheese bread, and you just dip it in marinara sauce. It's amazing. He makes it every Thanksgiving. I always feel like I could eat 6 loaves of it. So I'm putting that on there as a third appetizer option. People are going to be falling asleep at my dinner. Okay. Now for the lead off course, I don't know what to put in the chili slot. I didn't really think of that. So I'm going to jump straight to my main course. We're doing prime rib. We're doing prime rib as the main option. And for people that don't like beef, I'm probably going to go in and I'll do like something like chicken parm. I love a good chicken parm, perhaps a chicken milanese, something where it's chicken and pasta. But the first option is going to be prime rib. Second option, we're going chicken parm. So this is good. This is going to be heavy. And then, I'll steal his idea and I'll put a soup in there. I would probably have Panera do like a broccoli cheddar soup because I do love that. Or I'd have him do Supa Toscana from the Olive Garden. I made a copycat recipe of that. I really like that. So in lieu of the chili, I'm doing that. And then for dessert, here's where I'm going to get fancy. We're going to get a couple options. We're going to get a little carrot cake for people that enjoy that, but I'm going to have to get my Uncle Pete to make it as close as possible to my mother's old recipe because she can't make it anymore. But Uncle Pete did a great job. He recently made one, and it tasted like what I remembered. So, Uncle Pete, I'm going to need you to make the carrot cake. Second option, we're going cheesecake. I love just a basic cheesecake sometimes, if it tastes right and the crust is right. I'm not putting any cheese or any fruit on top of it. I'll leave that on the side for the people that want that. But cheesecake or Oreo cheesecake, I'll throw it in there. You'll get 2 options. And then the other dessert, we're going key lime pie because I love key lime pie. I know cheesecake and key lime pie, they're very closely related, but key lime pie, one of my very favorite things to eat if it's made right. I just kind of riffed through that menu. I'm sure I'm going to kick myself later. There's going to be things that I missed, but that's what it is. And I'm going to throw it over to you. I almost put lobster on there, but I don't want to break everybody's budget because, having the prime rib, that's one of the most expensive cuts of meat, but it is my absolute favorite thing. And I don't have it enough. I wish I could have it more, but it's usually like a Christmassy type thing for me or a special occasion. But I just love prime rib so much.
All right. It's my turn.
Yeah, get after it.
I'm going to switch things up here.
Okay.
And we're only going to do one appetizer.
All right.
Because I have a feeling that with the 3 offerings he had for his appetizers, they're more of an amuse-bouche style.
Okay.
Like you get one little bite.
Yeah.
Just to kind of entice the taste buds a little bit. That's what an amuse-bouche is to all you unwashed masses who don't know what how to do an appropriate dinner menu. So I think that those are more like a amuse-bouche type of thing. So I would do you crawled into my head when it came to the appetizers, Dustin, because I had little mini egg rolls on my
nice. Simpatico.
So I had like a little egg roll, like a mini egg roll as an amuse-bouche. Just kind of entice the senses, get the little taste buds rolling, riggedy rolling there. And an appetizer, I'm gonna go a little different here because my dessert's gonna be much different than anybody else's. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best dinner menu ever.
The greatest
ever. But for an appetizer, I'm gonna do grilled salad. Now, hear me out. If you haven't had grilled salad, this is basically what grilled salad is. You're taking your romaine lettuce, and you're just basically getting some hearts of romaine, and the big stalk of romaine lettuce, and you just put it on the grill, not for too long, because if you put it for too long, you totally take out the moisture, and it's gonna burn. It's not gonna be right. So it's got to get basically a nice light sear. But I remember this salad from a tasting I went to at Boca Bistro in Saratoga in 2014. It was they did a collaboration with Dogfish Head beer, and they paired each course of the menu with one of Dogfish Head's beers. I actually still have the glass from when I went to that dinner. I still have it. Whenever I drink an IPA, I'll use that glass.
Oh, nice.
I won't use anything else. I won't use a basic pint glass. I won't put it in a Guinness glass. I'm not going to sully my Guinness with anything else but Guinness. My Guinness glasses. I'm not going to sully with anything else but Guinness. But whenever I drink an IPA, I use that specific glass. You probably have seen it on podcasts such as this one for a Friday happy hour.
Or possibly your a round for the weekend live show you used to do.
That too. Yeah. 50 episodes back in the day. But that's what inspired me for that. So that's my appetizer. That's going to qualify as my appetizer.
All right.
First course is going to be my chili con carnage. It's going to be chili with beef and black. I don't use red beans. I use black beans. You've had my chili before, Dustin. So
I have. And even as a non-bean fan, I still enjoy it because to me, you've got enough other flavors in there that the beans don't overwhelm it for me. Because beans for me, it's a flavor thing, but it's also a texture thing. Beans has a double whammy for me. But for some reason, when I've had your chili, the beans, they don't overwhelm it. And my mom used to use those big red beans. I did not like those.
No, I'm not a red bean fan. I'm a black bean fan. But this is why I call it chili con carnage, because I have 2 types of meat. I always use 2 types of meat because it's gonna be 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds of beef. It's 2 pounds of ground meat. And the last time I made chili for chili con carnage for your Super Bowl party, I used ground bison and ground chicken.
Yeah,
so you got lean meats in there.
Yep. No, that was a good chili. I remember that one.
Thank you. And I always flavor it up with my sister always says, you flavor foods really well. I'm like, oh, thank you. You always season foods really well. Thank you. But I use the fire roasted tomatoes because it gets that nice little fiery flavor in there, that little char in there. I like that. So that'll be my chili con carnage, which is basically 2 meat chili with black beans. No red beans, black beans. That's the appetite. That's the first course. main course is going to be you get two choices. You get smoked brisket, which is one of my favorite foods ever.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Or you get smoked chicken.
Ooh, smoked chicken when done right.
Yes.
Very, very good. But I have not. Okay, here's a little moment we're gonna have. As you know, I like to smoke meats, right? I'm getting into it. I'm not the best at it, but there's a few things like pork. I've got down pretty well. Chicken, I have failed every time I've tried to do it. I don't know what it is. I can't get it right. I don't know how to get the crispy skin on the chicken. When I smoke it, it came out very rubbery the 2 times that I smoked it. I got like a whole chicken. So, man, I love smoked chicken, but not when I do it.
Yeah, so it'd be smoked extravaganza with me, smoked brisket or smoked chicken. But with my sides, I would do roasted root vegetables and sauteed broccoli.
Yeah, very good. You gotta roast your vegetables. I mean, steaming them is fine, but season them up. Season them up. That's what my mom taught me because my grandma, shout out to you, Grandma. I love you, but she always used to just overcook the vegetables slightly, and she didn't really season them with much. So I did not like the vegetables, and I would always tell Mom like I don't want these vegetables, and she said just let me roast them a little bit. She used to roast them on the grill and stuff, season them up. Mm-hmm. Vegetables are good that way. Just season them and roast them. It's very good.
45 minutes. Root vegetables take 45 minutes to roast. Mm-hmm. Just put a little olive oil. Mix it up with some seasoning, season them well, kosher salt, fresh cracked pep. Shout out to Maddie Matheson.
Yeah.
Kosher salt, fresh cracked pep, and maybe a little bit of a smoked paprika in there.
Yeah, sometimes smoked paprika on there. And I used to do one of my everybody. Okay, here's my quick broccoli recipe. I'm not going to tell you where I got this because I can't. They don't exist anymore where I used to work, but here's what they used to do.
You can't reveal his sources.
They used to do salt and I'll give you a major hint. This used to go on a broccoli pizza. When broccoli pizza was done, this is how they used to season them, and I've just carried that on. It was a little olive oil, it was salt, it was pepper, it was garlic powder, and it was crushed red pepper and Italian seasoning. And you season up your broccoli like that and cook it, you're going to have a good time.
There you go. So that's dinner. Dessert. I'm going to do a little plate offering.
Ooh.
Dessert 3 ways. So we're going to do mini donuts.
Oh, that's a classic. Love that.
Mini mini apple cider donuts.
Okay.
Little sliver cheesecake and a little sliver of my boozy blondies.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I've had the boozy blondies. I have had the boozy blondies. It does not surprise me. You got 2 of your heavy hitters on the menu, your chili and the boozy blonde bars.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that's our Scotty. That's our Masters dinner menu. Scotty Scheffler. You know, we know you're a fan of the show. Yeah. Reach out if you want any more inspiration for you when you win the Masters this year and you have 2026. You know, this is your inspiration right here, the both of us.
And just a quick aside, because I forgot it and I'm mad at myself. I had written it down. The fried chicken sandwich, of course, for a slider, but also I would put Cubano sliders in there because I really love a Cuban sandwich. Fantastic.
All right, before we hit the ballpark, we got some comments in the comment section. Kevin Wilson from a myriad of podcasts and shows, including Seahawks sessions. He says, I hit the road, but I wanted to get Don Sutton in as my favorite to wear number 21. So we're going to do our favorite number 21s today.
Yeah.
Sigdigi, our friend from Norway, saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. He also says when it comes to 21, Kevin Garnett comes to mind.
Will I choose Kevin Garnett as my favorite 21? Anything is possible. I had to do it.
That's okay.
Everyone remembers that.
All right, we're going to go to the ballpark and talk about the New York Yankees.
New York Yankees?
The New York Yankees!
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle,
Costanza?
I gotta.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta get it going. I mean, I love that quote so many times, but calling it now, maybe I'll say his name and he appears. But Ryan, we got to get together. I have Amazon Prime, and if the Yankees are still doing the Prime games on Fridays, got to be you, my Uncle Al, Aunt Bob, get together for a little bit of a Yankees Prime Day at my house. The New York Yankees. We'll watch some games.
I believe I looked it up while you were talking about it, and yes, they are on Prime this year.
All right.
With the subscription. So there will be 21 games on Prime this year.
All right. We'll definitely watch a couple. We'll watch a couple.
Some are on Friday, some are on Thursday, some are on Wednesdays. So it's gonna vary. So I'm looking forward to seeing some Yankee baseball, but I'm also looking forward to maybe going to a game this year at Yankee Stadium because as we were talking about this episode, what we're going to cover, because football is kind of slowed down with the free agency talk until the draft, which is late next month, and season's not starting until September. I think and with baseball not kicking off until first pitch is on Thursday. The official first pitch is on Thursday. So,
sorry, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin. If you're still watching, listening, but. I'm looking forward to going to the ballpark this year. I love me some minor league baseball. Our friend Brent Redlinsky from 1420 Sports Podcast had an episode talking about minor league baseball parks because,
oh man,
minor league baseball is everywhere. And I love me some minor league baseball, but I still like to go indulge myself and go to a big league ballpark this year. Mm-hmm. So the New York Yankees, who we will be covering on this podcast throughout the spring and summer. Sorry, haters. They have introduced their ballpark treat offerings for 2025. And Dustin and I were going back and forth yesterday afternoon. I sent him a Twitter thread. He sent me an Instagram reel of what they're offering this year. They've put it on their website too, but I want to go through and talk about some of these ballpark offerings. The Mets have also put out a ballpark offering as well. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, I would not get very far. We'll talk about it, but I would not get very far. I think you would do better than me. Yeah, you're there.
Well, I'll reveal my secret as to how to get through all of them. So
okay,
let's talk about the Yankees, the ballpark treats for 2025, and this is absolutely nuts what they're offering. Now, of course, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. For every single one of these items.
Oh my God! Yeah,
but they'll probably be worth it. So let's talk about and they've got their here's what's cool about each ballpark. The ballpark now, it's not just a regular hot dog, popcorn, soda / beer, but they've got some other stuff in the offering, right? So you got your Nathan's hot dogs, you got your Sabrett's hot dogs. By the way, Dustin, Nathan's or Sabrett's? Go.
Sabrett's.
Agreed.
I'm going Sabrett's. I mean, Sabrett's was, I'm not sure if it still is, but Sabrett's was the official hot dog of Yankee Stadium for many moons. Now, I have no issue with Nathan's. I'll eat a Nathan's hot dog, but Sabrett's is my number one. Number two, Hembold's hot dogs. That's a semi-local thing. I think Hembold's was out of Pennsylvania, but
they serve them at the Joe Bruno Stadium for the Tri-City Valley Cats.
Yeah, delicious, and also Ted's Fish Fry. That's what they used to use back in the day. Not sure if they still do.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out this year. But yeah, Yankees offer both Sabrett's and Nathan's. I would go Sabrett's with the hot dogs, but Nathan's, those crinkle cut fries, man.
Yep. I do. I normally do not prefer the crinkle cut fries, but there's some, like, I'm not going to get them from Arby's or the curly fries or whatever, but the way Nathan's does them, I like them.
Yeah. And they're also offering Street Bird by Marcus Samuelsson. If you don't know who Marcus Samuelsson is, he is from Sweden. He's a great chef, came to New York, goes back and forth, commutes between New York and Stockholm. But he's got his chicken recipes featuring spicy chicken wings, fried chicken and waffle, chicken tenders and fries, and the bird dog, which is new for 2025. It's a foot-long hot dog on a toasted bun with topped with his chicken tenders, garlic aioli, pickles, and street bird cheese sauce.
I'm going to tell you, I'm all over this. When I saw a picture of this, I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm eating it.
That's what it is. So this is all new for 2025, by the way. So the Yankees continuing in 2025. They're partnering with Bondi Sushi. So this is only in their Audi Club or Audi Club, however you pronounce it.
Right.
The four rings, they go this way, they go horizontally. So Yankees, if you purchase an Audi ticket, which means like it's in the Audi Club, which is indoors, and you can sit indoors, not about to be bothered by the weather. Like if it's a cold day, you want to get yourself an Audi Club ticket. But it's offered in the Audi Club, or you can make a reservation for a pregame meal. And it's just basically a sushi. It's a sushi station.
Yeah.
With nigiri, hot and crispy hand rolls, sashimi, or craveable crispy rice.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, okay? I love sushi. Sushi's been a relatively new thing. Only within the last 10 years or so did I make the voyage into sushi, because I have a great sushi place that is local to me, and there's surprisingly good options in the capital region. Fight me on
Yes.
that one. But I'm not getting sushi at the ballpark. This does not scream baseball to me. I'm going to leave that. And in the picture, all I saw was the sashimi. So I was like, that just doesn't compare. And it doesn't feel like a ballpark food. I know that Yankee Stadium, they're trying to elevate it. Ballparks all around the MLB, they're trying to elevate their food options. But this one doesn't fit to me. I don't know I mean, I love crispy rice. I love, like a spicy crunch crab roll, something like that. I'd imagine they have an option there. But this one did not move the needle for me. How about you, Ryan?
Would.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, if I were to indulge myself in buying one of those tickets for the Audi Club, I definitely would.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. It's a temperature controlled environment, so you don't have to worry about the sun, killing the flavor or the fish itself.
Yeah, that's
especially
true.
on a hot day. So more continuing in 2025, the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
This one I was all over. I was like, woo!
So here are their offerings for 2025: buffalo chicken dumpling with buttermilk ranch, kung pao chicken dumpling with spicy dumpling and aioli, and wagyu beef dumpling with spicy dumpling aioli. Would.
Yes, I am all over this. And also, the thing is, these dumplings, ultra transportable. Because I know one of my things, maybe I just have anxiety, but one of my things is when I order a concession at a game, I'm always worried about making it back to my seat without spilling anything, dropping anything. These dumpling options, all of them sound great, first of all, but they'd be a great option for me. And while we're at it, special shout out to the Adirondack Thunder, including canned options for their beer. So much easier to bring back to your seat. I love it. Thank you.
They actually do have a stadium beer, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But there are new offerings for, dumplings. We got the regular stuff. Here we go. New for 2025. Meme Cafe of Mott Haven, which will offer a chickpea. Oh, it's for people who are the vegetarian/vegan.
Okay.
They are offering a chickpea salad with arugula, Marcona almonds, cucumbers, pickled red onion, and harissa.
That sounds pretty dang good.
I
think I would eat that. I love arugula. Arugula, one of my favorite vegetables out there.
More new items for Yankee Stadium in the 2025. Mac Truck, which is a food truck, launched in Saratoga. Now offering premium mac and cheese. They have a new one for 2025, pulled pork mac and cheese.
Yep, I'm in.
LaBelle's, which is a New York staple, They're offering a roast pork and broccoli rabe sandwich in 2025. I'd hit that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love broccoli rabe, first of all. And I do. There's a local place here that they have a sandwich called the Big L, and they put broccoli rabe on it, and it's delicious.
Are also offering Stadium Street Tacos in section 311. So it's shredded chicken carnitas, avocado crema, chipotle aioli, cojita cheese, pico de gallo. Guests receive 3 per order.
Oh yeah, I'm in on that too. I'm in on that, especially if because chicken is great. We all know it, but it's not necessarily my first option when it comes to a taco. You give me pork carnitas, I'm in on that, and also a beef option. But I'll try the chicken. Everything else sounds delicious.
Yeah. More for 2025 from the Fresh Direct Terrace. You've got the Pineapple Cup, which is fresh cut pineapple, sweet and sour, sweet and spicy chamoy sauce, and a lime wedge, sounds pretty good. They're also bringing in Jamaican beef patties.
Yes.
One just standard, and the other one is a stuffed patty with beef patty, cilantro lime, slaw, and jerk barbecue aioli.
I'm all over that. All over it.
And then they're also offering empanadas from Nuchas empanadas with 3 styles: Argentine beef, chipotle chicken, and pinto bean, which is a vegetarian option, all served with salsa verde.
Oh yeah, I love me some salsa verde. I like a lot of different kinds of salsas, but salsa verde is something I came into within the last few years. I've tried to open up my food options and become more cultured to the degree that I can. Salsa verde, delicious. These are the ones we were talking before the show in the green room. These are the ones that these empanadas caught my eye, but I wouldn't be getting down on the pinto bean ones, but I'm glad they're there for the people that don't eat meat.
That's right. And then you have Christian Petroni. I haven't heard of this guy, but apparently he's been on Food Network a bunch of times. He's big in New York, he's big in New York with the Italian cuisine scene. They've partnered with him for 2025 to introduce the Petroni tiramisu, espresso mascarpone cream, ladyfinger cookies, cocoa powder, but served in the ice cream bowls you see in the ballpark, the mini ice cream bowls. I'll show a picture. This is what they look like. If you're watching on the replay on bellyupsports.com or bellyupsports or our Twitter channel, that's the tiramisu. It's being served. It's being served in those ice cream bowls that they used to get at the ballpark.
And when I first saw this, confession time, when I first saw this, because candidly, I'm not the biggest tiramisu fan. It's one of those desserts for me that I like everything that's associated with it. Like you give me the list of ingredients, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. But then I try it, and there's something about everything together. It's just not my favorite. But when I first saw these, I know you're a big fan. I know you're getting down on one of these. When I first saw these, I was like, are those ribs? Are those smoked ribs in a helmet? Because I was like, if that's smoked ribs, I'm getting one of those.
But that's the cannoli. That's the tiramisu in the cup. Now they've also introducing a partnership with Mr. Softy Sundae. It's a Petroni Mr. Softy Sundae. Vanilla ice cream, hazelnut hot fudge, cannoli praline crunch, and vanilla panna.
Yeah, I'm all over that one. You can have the tiramisu. I'll be eating that one. Woo!
And this is what it looks like. There it is.
Oh man!
Again,
all right,
served in the mini helmets.
Yep. No, that's because also another glaring omission from my master's menu. Cannoli would be another dessert option on there. I love cannoli.
Mini cannoli in the sampler. Dessert sampler.
Yeah.
Trying to find more for 2025. All right, let's talk drinks. Let's talk about these drinks for 2025. Let me see if there's any more. Let's see. New cookies in 2025. Sweet and salty chocolate chip and M&M.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Let's see, more new stuff. Let's go to the drink. So, alcoholic beverages. They are introducing a signature stadium beer, available throughout Yankee Stadium. It's they've partnered with Goose Island.
Oh, Goose Island, very good.
Yes.
But I'm surprised because Goose Island, Chicago based.
Yes, yes, and now owned by InBev. So the Goose Island's New York Legendary Ale, and this is the description: a crisp, aromatic, and fruity golden ale with brilliant clarity. Its slight sweetness from two-row barley and wheat malts are balanced with light bitterness from Mount Hood and Hallertau hops. Brewed in Baldwinsville, New York, and available in draft and 25-ounce cans.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying that.
Yep,
Hopefully it makes
trying
its
that.
way to beverage centers around the area too, so we can try it as well.
Yes, like the Pinstripe Pilsner did.
Yeah.
What's that?
Was that Blue Point?
Yes,
No.
Blue Point. I was
Okay,
trying to think of the name. I'm like trying to think of the name, but they actually have a pretty good smoked porter too. I think, or smoked lager, which is pretty cool. New specialty drinks for 2025: the Aspen Espresso Martini. I want to try this.
All right. Yeah. we'll get down.
Aspen vodka, cold brew, coffee liqueur.
I would definitely try it. I'm not the biggest vodka fan, but you put it in a combo like that, of course, I'll try that.
See, you're not big on vodka. I'm not big on tequila.
Yeah, I'm not big on tequila either. Whiskey's my main cocktail. If we were to do cocktails for our dinner menu, I'm going old fashions all day. Love that. But yeah, I would definitely try this. The vodka. So is vodka your number one spirit if you had to choose one? Is it
No,
vodka?
mine is whiskey.
Okay, all right.
Mine
So
is
we're
whiskey.
both in the same boat. I should have known that.
They do
Especially-
have a whiskey cocktail, the Tully Ball, which is not new for 2025, but it's Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey, ginger beer, and lemon.
Okay, I would try that one for sure.
I'd try that. I might have to do an overnight for this.
Yeah, I should have known. I should have known that whiskey was your number one because I will never forget that you're like, I'll pour us some of this. I was like, yeah, let's try this. Your pour was heavy. I was like, I can't drive after this.
I think mine were 3 or 4 fingers.
It was 4 fingers.
It was like Japanese whiskey I bought you for your birthday. Too.
Yes, it's good. I still have
Yeah.
some of it. We'll have to have a little bit more the next time you're in the neck of the woods here.
So quickly transitioning for more spirits in 2025, the Bronxtail, which is actually available. It says available on tap.
Oh man.
So yeah, this is gonna be flowing like wine in Aspen. The Bronxtail, Grey Goose vodka, blueberry liqueur, and lemonade.
Yeah, I would try that.
That sounds delightful, especially on a hot day.
And that's a great name for the cocktail. I mean,
yes.
come on.
And it's Bronxtail.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Okay. The gin fielder, Hendrick's gin, lime juice, cucumber, and mint.
I would try that too.
Your sister would probably like that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, candidly, she's not watching right now, and hopefully she wouldn't take this as an insult. But there's not much that my sister would turn down in the spirit world. She's adventurous that way. She likes to try everything.
Yeah. And then the last one, the two rum. This is really hard to say.
Yeah.
2 rum home run. Bacardi light rum, Bacardi spiced rum, passion fruit, and pink lemonade.
I'd give that a shot, but I'm not a big rum guy.
I'd try a sip. The passion fruit's kind of throwing me off.
Yeah.
Because it's not, because passion fruit isn't really, it's not really native to the Northeast.
Yeah.
It's more of an Asian tropical flavor. So I don't know, maybe I'd try it. I'm trying to find if there's any more offerings for 2025. Nothing really outstanding that's pointing out to me. The sundae, the cookies. It's a big chickpea salad, which is pretty. I try that.
What about that Cubano sandwich that I saw earlier? Let me see.
Oh, there we go. Yep, there it is. The Sando Cubano.
Yeah,
it's in sections 109, 213, and 331. The Cubano, it's the spicy chicken, smoked ham, Swiss cheese, pork floss, fuku honey mustard, and on a potato bun.
Yeah, I mean, I would be all over this, but the inclusion of the chicken is a little weird to me because usually the base of a Cubano, I'm surprised because every other element of the Cubano is there, but the base of Cubano is pork and ham. So to have
Mhm.
chicken and ham is a little different, but I give
But
that a shot.
it's a spicy
Yeah.
chicken though.
Yeah. Yeah. I would order one of those and be quite happy, I'd imagine.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that's the ballpark offerings for the Yankees in 2025.
Ryan and I are going to go to the ballpark. We're going to spend like, whatever it is on the tickets and then like $1,000 on the food.
If I can get my paperwork in as a DBA, we can write these off. We can write these expenses off. What's this? A Cubano sandwich?
Yeah.
Dad, it's a write-off. It's a write-off, okay? It's a write-off. So, but it's not just the New York Yankees who are doing something new. It's also the New York Mets.
Yeah.
And I saw this yesterday. It's a tweet from Paulie Mets, the account called Paulie Mets. And I'll share this on the screen, but we'll talk about it on the podcast side for those who are listening. Breaking new at Mets games this year, the Dog Bowl. For $12.99, fans can get 12 hot dogs stuffed inside of a Mets helmet. Could you finish this?
For me, it's a no. I will respect them though. I like the price on that. 12 dogs for $12.99. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't beat that. It's basically
Can't beat
$1 a dog. So pretty close.
And you put up a poll, could you crush this? And 76% said easy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not in the easy camp, but I understand. I might be able to get through about 5 of them, but I understand you have a technique that you're going to lay on us.
Okay.
Your technique for beating this, for vanquishing this food foe.
Okay, so as the reigning defending undisputed Glizzy champion of 104.5 The Team,
We
in
need
all
Bruce
things
Buffer.
New York.
The reigning.
I need Paul Heyman. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. I gotta have
All
Paul
right.
Heyman introduce me as such.
All right.
But as the reigning defending undisputed Glizzy champion of 104.5 The Team in Schenectady, New York, and that I'm the only champion. And Levac can attest to this. I polished off 9 hot dogs in the span of about 10 minutes during a hot dog eating contest back in the day as an intern.
All right, so you were basically a minute dog pace. That's what you were doing, yeah.
But for 12 hot dogs and a 9-inning game, you got to pace yourself out. And here's why. Here's what you can do. For the first 3 innings, you eat 1 hot dog on the top, 1 hot dog in the bottom of the inning for the first 3 innings. So that is your 6 right there.
Yeah.
And then you pace it out the rest of the game, only 1 hot dog per full inning the rest of the way, including the 9th inning.
Okay.
If it goes to the extras, you won't be hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would not drink beer.
No, you can. Beer will fill you up too much.
Beer will fill you up. I would drink water instead.
Yeah.
And no soft drinks either, because soft drinks, if I remember correctly, for some of these techniques for the professional eaters, it'll only be water. It won't be anything, or be very watered down lemonade, because the sugar will fill up your stomach too. Because if you drink soda like a Coke or Mountain Dew or Sprite, the sugar will fill up your stomach and make you feel like you're full. You don't want to do that.
No.
So you want water, or what you want to do is like get yourself a cup of ice and a bottle of lemonade, and just pour that into the cup of ice, but nice and watered down, so the sweetness gets cut out, and you can pace yourself. So yeah, 2 hot dogs for the first full inning, for the first 3 innings, and then 1 hot dog every inning up until the end of the game. Now, if you want to do 2 hot dogs per inning, that'll last you to the 6th inning, and then you have room to get some ice cream or another treat or a beer, or even a beer. That's my strategy. So yeah, I'd crush this.
All right. But I will say, if I see you dipping the buns in water,
I'm not going to do that. I'm not a psycho.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our network mandated commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about we're going to go back into the free agency tracker. We're going to talk about George Foreman and his passing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to end it. This has been this edition of Hot Food, this extended edition.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Food Takes.
An hour edition of Hot Food Takes.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. This is what's crazy about this time of year, because we're in the in-between. We get to talk about whatever we want. And we hope you enjoy it as much as we do, because we get to take this show in whatever direction. And
it's true.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, get your own podcast. Okay. All right. So we're going to take our network mandated commercial break. When we come back, talk about Jameis Winston signed with the Giants, talk about George Foreman's passing. We'll also reveal our favorite athletes to wear the number 21. So stand by and stay tuned for more No Credentials Required. This episode of No Credentials Required is brought to you by Invader Coffee. For the coffee lover who wants good, quality coffee with no bullshit and no filler, Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering only the best coffee your hard-earned money can buy. They aim to only serve the highest quality, organic, air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. They keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you with the value you deserve for your morning boost. 100% fair trade, 100% organic coffee beans, 100% air-roasted, 100% money-back guarantee. Visit invadercoffee.com, enter promo code BELLYUP at checkout, and receive 15% off your order. That's right, folks. Dustin came back quickly.
I had to. I forgot to bring my French press in. I had a refill.
The only coffee that's going in our mugs this morning for the Saturday morning brunch, most Saturdays actually, is Invader Coffee. Oh, I got the wrong banner up. And that one. Okay. So I chose this week. It actually came in yesterday. So this is the first batch I'm drinking. I'm drinking the T-Max Organic Blend, which I've never tried before. I haven't in all the years that Invader Coffee has been a sponsor. I've never had the T-Max Invader Coffee. And this is the organic blend. I'll read the description from the website, which is in the description. It's our affiliate link for the website. Feeling like a productive panda stuck in slow motion, roar back into life with T-Max Organic Blend. This powerful organic potion is the secret weapon of go-getters and doers. Time to kick procrastination in the teeth and get done. T-Max Blaze Ops, this is what I'm drinking, is a bold, full-flavored blend and probably our most metal roast in the entire lineup. T-Max doesn't give you GSD. You won't have a choice but to GSD after downing a solid full mugful. I don't know what GSD is. Oh,
I don't know what that is.
Get stuff done.
Oh, okay. There we go. We figured it out.
See, it's a military acronym. So I'm not in the military, so Anyway, this roast features a label design sketched by Pat Mack himself. Not Pat McAfee. I suspect Pat Mack, the founder of Invader Coffee. Not for the timid or the unmotivated. And I'm definitely not. That's what I'm drinking this morning. And because we believe in quality without compromise, our T-Max Organic Blend is made from 100% fair trade and organic Ethiopian and Indonesian beans, air roasted for a smoother, more nuanced cup. At Invader Coffee, we keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price. We source our beans, as the handsome voiceover man said. Pretty much everything in there. And he says, our T-Max Organic Blend embodies this commitment, serving a daily reminder of the superior coffee experience that awaits you every morning. So why wait? Embrace your bold side, make a statement about your commitment to quality coffee. Let our T-Max Organic Blend be the vessel that carries you into each day.
I might have to try that blend now. It's like you. It's one of the few that I had not tried yet. But I got a notification too via email because Invader's always on top of it. Yeah. I got a notification that the Outsider blend is back in stock. So I may have to order some of that after the show, because that is also one of the few that I have not tried. Every single blend, and this is not hyperbole, okay? Every single blend I've tried, I like. There are some blends that I would only have on a special occasion or once in a while, but I've liked every single blend I have. One of my favorites is still in my cup. I still have some leftovers because, like I said, I hoard it like a dragon. I still have the cookie crumble, and it tastes great. I'm drinking it right now, but I also have Donut Dealer, which that one might be at the top of my list. Every time I drink it, I'm like, does this overtake the bad Santa or the cookie crumble? I don't know that, because those are my top two. I mean, I love the pumpkin pecan, a lot of the seasonal blends, but man, the donut dealer is really good, and I like the OG blend. I might re-up with a bag of that too. I was hoping to get some K-cups for the office. They seem to be out of stock, but the Mexican chocolate K-cups are in stock, and they were running a deal of buy a couple, get a couple free. So, there's a lot to like about Invader Coffee, and use our affiliate link, help the show out, and also type in belly up at checkout. You get 15% off your order. And as we always talk about, if you're a longtime listener, you hear us talk about this every week. It gets there fast. The shipping is fast. You pay a little bit more, but it's priority. It gets here fast, and their customer service is if you ever have an issue, you can reach out to them. They're very responsive.
Yes, they're very good with their customer service, and they always try to make it themselves. They always try to write a handwritten note with every receipt you get. So when I made my order last time with the donut dealer, which I've been enjoying the last couple of weeks, and I also bought a bag for a deployed member of the military, which you can do for $17.99. They put in a handwritten note saying thank you underneath the line item where I ordered for the bag for the deployed troops, because our troops deserve the best, right?
Yeah.
And it deserves the best coffee, and Invader's the best coffee out there. So yes. And as always, Invader Coffee, they get our no credentials required seal of approval. Good old puppers. All right. We've had one significant movement in the free agency market in the NFL, so let's talk about it in the Loch Ness Monster NFL free agency tracker.
I need about 350.
And the move you're talking about, Ryan, is River Carcraft signing with the Seahawks. That's right. Did I say
the banner, bozo?
Did I say on last night's episode we'll have to see how he flows within the offense? Yes.
Let the river run. Anyway.
Daniel was not happy with me for that one.
Oh, bother. Jameis Winston, one of the few remaining quarterbacks still out there in free agency, along with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. He announced yesterday, and the New York Giants, actually a lot of other media outlets announced that Jameis Winston would be signing with the New York Giants. I don't know the details of the contract, but let's do some research and find out. But he posted on his Twitter yesterday, and he said, and I quote, "Start spreading the news." He puts W in capital in a capital letter. Mm-hmm. Now here's no, I'm looking at his Twitter, and his link goes to fultonfishmarket.com/free crab.
Oh man. Okay. He's all right. He's got a sense of humor about the crab leg thing.
So according to the NFL, this is per Tom Pelissero, 2 years, $8 million. 2 years, $8 million. Good God. All right. Yeah. I'll be right back. You riff. I got to talk about I'll be right back.
All right. So Jameis Winston in with the New York Giants. Now, I have a lot of feelings about this signing. I know Jameis has had his past issues, and a lot of people like to bring those up. But he seems like a great teammate, and seems like somebody that people really respect in the locker room. Now, I wish Uncle Al was watching because I could get his thoughts as a Giants fan. But if you're a Giants fan, does this move the needle for you? We'll have to reach out to our good friend of the show, Wise El Jefe, ask him about it. Because for me, you're going to get Jameis Winston, and you're going to get everything that comes along with Jameis Winston. He's probably going to get sacked a fair bit behind that Giants offensive line as presently constructed, because if I remember correctly, a lot of the members of that Giants offensive line are were part of the offensive line when Matthew Stafford was in Detroit and he got sacked an awful lot. So I think there could be some trouble with the sacks this year in New York. But hear me out. I do think Jameis Winston will provide elevated quarterback play compared to what they had last year, should he become the starter. I'm not sure if Drew Lock is still there. I would have to research whether Drew Lock is still retained by the Giants. And, of course, they have New Jersey's own Tommy DeVito down there still, as far as I know. But I think Jameis comes away with this job as it's presently constructed. Sounds like they signed him to be their starter. He's going to throw a lot of TDs. Jameis can throw the ball better than people give him credit for, but the problem is he also can throw a lot of interceptions too. He's going to take some gambles. He's going to try some things. So you're going to get all of that with Jameis Winston. But I think it could be a potential rough season in New York. But you put together Jameis Winston with that offensive line, which I said was not great last year, not great at protecting the quarterback. So this could be a rough season in New York if you're a Giants fan. But I don't think the Giants have high expectations. And if you're a Giants fan, I mean, I can't speak for the team. I can't speak for ownership, but this move, I mean, I understand that they were kind of in on Matthew Stafford. They were in on Aaron Rodgers, although I did not think Aaron Rodgers would sign there. Apparently, he had a meeting with the Steelers yesterday that lasted about yesterday or maybe the day before. I can't remember. He had a meeting with the Steelers that lasted about 6 hours. But, once I heard that Jameis Winston was going to visit the Giants, I thought that they might go this direction. I understand Russell Wilson also visited the Giants, but Jameis is a bit younger, if memory serves. But I think this could spell trouble. There's going to be some highs because Jameis, like I said, he can throw the ball better than people realize. He's going to throw a fair number of touchdowns. Also, he'll get Malik Neighbors the ball. He will do that. But Jameis also throws a lot of picks. And like I said, Ryan, I don't know if you heard any of what I was saying, but behind that offensive line in New York, this could be trouble. Because if I remember, the offensive line in New York had a lot of the former players on the line in Detroit when Matthew Stafford was getting sacked a bunch. So this could be tough. This could be a tough season. I was saying that we should have Wise on the show at some point to talk about signing. And I wish that Uncle Al was watching this morning because it was a rough season for him last year, but I'd love to get his thoughts on Jameis. I'll probably have to reach out to him via text, see if he's okay.
Yeah. Jameis Winston has, throughout his entire career in the NFL, he's been high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
And I would have to think, this is going to be a bridge situation because he's only signing for $8 million.
Yeah.
And I have to think this might be I don't know if it's a fully guaranteed contract or not, or if it's just a 1-year deal and they had the option to release him in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
The full details haven't come out yet. And they probably won't come out for a bit, with a lot of these contracts.
Yeah.
So it's a nice move for the Giants. It gets them the bridge quarterback, and I have to think the Giants are going to do one of two things when the draft comes around, because they're going to pick quarterback. They have to pick quarterback no matter what.
Yeah,
they're either going to trade up to the Titans and pick up Cam Ward, or they're going to stand pat at 3, or was it 3 or 4?
I think they're 4, but don't quote me on that.
Let's double check. At 3, they are at 3.
Oh, they're at 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are the Raiders at 4 then? Where?
No, it's Tennessee, Cleveland, Giants, New England, Jacksonville, Vegas.
New England. Okay, I forgot. Yeah.
It was one of them. It was whether the Giants or the Patriots that were at 3 and 4. I thought I might swap them in my head, but yeah, Giants are at 3. So either one of two things is going to happen. Either Joe Shane is going to grow a pair and trade up with Tennessee, swap with Tennessee, and they'll pick up Cam Ward because he's the top-rated quarterback in the draft, or they'll stand pat at 3. And much to Dion's chagrin, Shador Sanders will be with the Giants. because that was one of the teams that was not on Deion Sanders's quote list of teams he wanted his son to go to. I think it was the 49ers. Basically all the teams he played for were on his list.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you think if the Giants draft Shedeur and stand pat at 3, like you said, which of course means they're not going to your Jets at number 7, which I think
Good.
we laughed about that, but it's also the Jets have Justin Fields now, and I think they've solved their quarterback problem for now. But if Shedeur goes there, do you think Deion, and this is just off the top of my head, Eli Manning did not want to play for the Chargers, and he and his dad, right, they did that swap. They essentially forced that swap. Do you think, and also John Elway famously did it to the Colts. He said he would go play for the Yankees if the Colts drafted him. So do you think that the Sanders family pulls a similar move if the Giants pull the trigger and bring him to New York at number 3?
I'd probably have to think so, because it would not be out of Deion's scope of wanting all the attention. Of trying to pull this kind of move. So I don't know. We'll see. It's to be determined. Personally, I think Shedeur will be happy with whoever picks him, because that way he gets from my understanding, the way the contracts work with rookie contracts in the NFL is that the higher you're selected, the bigger your paycheck is.
Yes.
So, and he can always, and if he does well enough in New York or wherever he's picked, he can renegotiate after year 3. You can enter a negotiation period where you can extend, you can sign an extension, or you can wait it out until year 4, where the team has the option to exercise a 5th-year contract.
Yeah, and I guess, the Giants, they're a work in progress, and if this season goes sideways, honestly, I don't know if Joe Shane will still be there.
Or Brian Dable for that
matter. Or Brian Dable for that matter. But if you're a quarterback and you're a young quarterback, you got to be happy with the option of throwing to Malik Neighbors, because he proved last year he's a man. He's a man. So there's worse things than having a proven number 1 receiver.
Yeah, he was on my squad, which won the fantasy football championship this year in our league. So
there you go.
So I might for the Taylor Ham Sandos. So we might run it back with him next year, to be determined. We'll find out in the draft, when we draft in September or early September. Yeah. I'm hoping to do a live draft this year, with the exception of one of our members who is down south.
Okay.
But I'll figure it out before then. Too much. I hate drafting virtually. It's a bummer. And it's been going on for too long. So I want to get together and just have a draft with all the guys.
All right.
That's just me. So with Jameis Winston signing with the Giants, that leaves, and I think Dustin probably mentioned it while I was out, just getting a quick remedy real quick. And checking out my cat, because he's jaw-jacking right now because I'm in here with the door closed.
Right.
That leaves 2 prominent names out there for free agency with quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, the Minnesota Vikings earlier this week told him to kick rocks, and it made me feel like this, because the meme will not be completed.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole clip is 100. It's 1:04. So first few minutes, first few seconds, but it made me feel like that, because thank God the meme will not be completed, and that made me so happy to hear the Minnesota Vikings will not pursue Aaron Rodgers as a number 2 quarterback, because they're standing firm. And from what I understand, they've actually rejected trade offers for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, there were teams that were interested, and I'm not surprised by that at all. They invested a high pick in him.
Yeah, they actually swapped with the Jets this year. In last year's draft, they actually swapped places to get him at 10, and the Jets picked up Olu Fashanu at 11, which turned out pretty well until he got hurt, of course. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is out there. He, as Dustin probably mentioned, he met with the Steelers, had a nice little meeting yesterday, and I guess from what I understand, there's a contract on the table, but it's up to Aaron Rodgers to sign it. So I have to figure first, if you're a Steelers fan, you got to wonder what's going on with management, because they made that trade for DK Metcalf, and it's going to put him next to George Pickens, and I think there's going to be a fight sometime in the future between the both of them as to who gets the ball. But at the same time, who's throwing the ball?
Yeah. This is part of what I talked about on Seahawks sessions last night, and mostly from the DK things. DK said that he wanted to go to a contender. Well, guess what, DK? You were on a 10-win team last year, and if you think that the Steelers situation, because apparently Staniel told me that he came out with some quotes that basically said the grass is greener. You think the grass is greener in Pittsburgh? I got a couple things for you. One, you're in a tougher division than you would be in Seattle. Now, both Staniel and I agreed that the Rams are probably the kings of the division next year as things are presently constructed. But the Steelers, even with the addition of Aaron Rodgers, they're probably going to be fighting for third place in the division, because you got the Ravens and you got the Bengals, both teams who I think are better than the Steelers, definitely offensively. Defensively, Cam Hayward and the Steelers defense are going to have things to say about it. But I feel like at this stage in his career, Geno Smith was throwing the ball to DK last year, and I said it to you, and I said it last night, and I want to pose the question to you. A lot of people are probably going to come after me for this point, but do you really think that Aaron Rodgers at this stage in his career is that much better than Geno Smith throwing the football? Is the gulf that wide? Because based off of name value, people are going to sit there and they're going to say, oh, yes, it is. And I'm here to tell you, probably not. Not at this stage.
I don't know. And it's the jury for myself. It's the jury still out. But I'll say this one thing in regards to Aaron Rodgers. You'll be playing on grass at least 12 times a year next year.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about that awful turf at
the fake
MetLife
turf.
Stadium.
Yeah,
creeping up on you, which I guess it's like playing on. It's now it's the point where it's playing on like you're playing on AstroTurf, because that turf is terrible.
Yeah,
at MetLife Stadium. So you'll be playing 8 games in. You'll be playing 8 games in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. I still refuse to call it the other stadium name they have for it. I call it Heinz Field.
It's Heinz Field still.
You play 8 games at Heinz Field. You play 1 game at Cleveland Brown Stadium. You'll play 1 game at Paul Brown Stadium, and you'll play 1 game at M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
So that's 10 games you'll have. I apologize. You'll have 10 games where it's natural grass, or at least a hybrid of natural grass and turf. So there's a selling point right there. But yeah, you have to worry about other personalities in that locker room, such as George Pickens and DK Metcalf. And if you're not throwing the ball, you're gonna get talked at in the media.
Oh, for sure, because both DK and George Pickens, they want to be the alpha. They want to be the number one guy, and you can't have 2 number ones. Because even in Philly, where there was a lot of controversy earlier this year, are they getting along? Are things okay? One of them is going to suffer, because either A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith, both talented enough to be the number 1 wide receiver, one of them's not going to get the ball enough to their liking. It's just the law of averages.
No, but from all indications, they don't care. They're winning.
Yeah,
when you win,
that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah, when you win, it's a lot different from when you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're winning and you're not getting the ball, who cares? It's a win.
Yep.
And if you're losing, all bets are off.
Well, and I would say that from an outside observer, I would say that A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith both a little more. DK's fiery and George Pickens talks a lot. So you put that together, it could be like nitroglycerin in that Steelers locker room. It's going to be an interesting year for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. In regards to Russell Wilson, I'll be quick because we're approaching an hour and a half now. We got two more topics to cover.
The food.
I think Russell Wilson still has options out there. I think he still might have the opportunity with that $8 million, only $8 million going to Jameis Winston. I think he might wind up in New York anyway. But does he really want to be a second stringer or third stringer and just be a bridge quarterback?
Yeah.
You've also got your options in Cleveland as well.
Yeah, that's Cleveland.
Or you come back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, could do it, I guess. Could do it. But if I know Russ the way that I think I do, I don't think he wants to be second banana. I think he probably still feels that he has enough to be a starter in this league, which at points it looked like it in Pittsburgh last year, and then at points it looked like he didn't. So which version would a team get if they signed Russell Wilson? We'll have to find out.
But guess what? At the end of the day, you're still getting paid that money that the Broncos were paying you before they released you.
Oh, yeah.
You can retire in style.
He could, yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to very quickly. Last night, it was the news came out that George Foreman, legendary boxer and cultural figure, passed away at the age of 78. You can't say a whole lot of. It's not enough words to say how much of an impact George Foreman had on the sport of boxing.
Yes,
with all the matches he had with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and also his big comeback in the early 90s.
Yes, that's what I remember. Yes,
yeah, but also an impact on culture with the invention of the George Foreman grill.
Yes, I had the lean, mean, fat grilling machine, and my mother had it growing up. It was a phenomenon. One of the things that I first brought to college because you couldn't have a toaster oven in your dorm room, the George Foreman grill. I had it there, and we were using it. Just a phenomenon, and probably what he is more known for now. And like you said, Ryan, to come back, I think he was in his early 40s when he did that comeback and became the world champion, the heavyweight world champion one more time.
I saw a clip this morning on Super 70 Sports. Shout out Ricky Cobb, one of my favorite Twitter accounts. I posted about a minute and a half clip of his knockout of Michael Moore. Foreman was 45 years old.
45, okay.
Yeah. He was way behind in the 10th round when he knocked out then 27-year-old Michael Moore.
Yeah. Still had the power for sure. And one of my favorite things, and we don't know if this is true, but reportedly Hulk Hogan once said that he and George Foreman shared the same agent. And back in the day, Hulk Hogan was not available. He said that he got the call first, and he said that if you don't get back to me, I'm gonna offer this opportunity to George, but there's two appliances. Which one would you like to endorse? One of them's a grill, the other one's a juicer. And Hulk Hogan did not get back to his agent. George Foreman did. And according to Hulk Hogan, the rest is history. George Foreman ended up with the George Foreman grill, which became an absolute phenomenon. And have you heard of the Hulk Hogan juicer? No. So that's if that story is true, that's always a funny anecdote. But George really, he was everywhere too. He had a career revival in the 90s. He had, after that title fight, not only was the George Foreman grill everywhere, but he was also in other commercials and everything too. Parlayed it into quite the second act. And a lot of people doubted George Foreman when he was coming back, and he proved everybody wrong. as I remember, his championship reign, not that long. The second when he won that by knocking out Michael Moore, but still he did it. He got to the mountaintop again when a lot of people told him he shouldn't come back, doubted him. Also, George is known for naming his kids all various versions of George. I remember that. And he just looked the same for many, 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 many years. I did not know what his age was because he looked locked in time to me at a certain age, aged very well. And like you said, his impact on culture, pretty amazing. And I remember playing a George Foreman boxing game on the Game Boy back in the day. Lots of hours put into that one. So R.I.P. George. Good for you for coming back, serving as an inspiration to people, showing that you could still do it at your, by boxing terms, advanced age.
Yeah. And I got to correct myself. He was 76. My math.
76. Yeah.
I suck at math.
Me too.
But his career record, his career record is incredible. 76-5.
Yeah.
In 81 fights was 76-5. 68 wins by knockout, 8 wins by decision. Was only knocked out once.
Yeah, that's amazing.
5 losses. His losses were to Shannon Briggs, Tommy Morrison, Evander Holyfield, Jimmy Young, and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I mean,
and, his first loss was to Muhammad Ali by knockout at the in Zaire. The Rumble in the Jungle.
If
it were. But yeah, his incredible career was also an Olympic gold medal winner.
Wow.
He won a gold medal in boxing in 1968 in the heavyweight division. And here's the story of it. This is per Wikipedia. In the gold medal match, Foreman defeated the Soviet Union's Jonas Sapoulis. The referee stopped the fight in the second round.
Oh, wow.
Sapoulis' face was already bleeding from the first round from Foreman's punches and had to take a standing 8 count early in the second round.
Wow. George always had that power. Always had it.
Yeah. So George Foreman, incredible guy, incredible man. Between his professional career, he actually competed in season 8 of The Masked Singer.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah, he was in The Masked Singer. Eliminated on Hall of Fame night alongside George Clinton.
Oh, man, of the Parliament Funkadelics. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but he's an inspirational dude. I'm in my late 40s, and I'm like, if George Foreman can do all the things he did in his mid 40s on, like, think of the things I could do. Crazy.
Got to get back in shape myself, and I'll use George as an inspiration for sure.
Yeah, got that George Foreman grill, my friend.
Yeah.
Do they still make George Foreman grills?
I think they do. I mean, the version my mom had was pretty awesome. The thing had like waffle molds on it. Like it had swappable molds. I had one of the original ones, and I got to tell a quick story. My grandma was so mystified by the times on the George Foreman grill because it came with a little book and it had some recipes. She did not believe that it could cook burgers in the time that it said. She just didn't trust it. So she's like, I don't like cooking burgers on that thing, because it turns out my grandma was cooking these burgers on the Foreman grill for like 10 minutes. They were like dried out hockey pucks. It's like, come on, grandma, you can't do that. And she's like, well, I just don't trust the times. And you could trust them, grandma. That Foreman grill got things cooked for you fast, and it was delicious. And the juice really would. The fat would run down.
Yes, it would. You clicked into that little contraption that you can throw it out afterwards. And I looked it up, real-time research. The George Foreman grill is still available.
Yeah.
At retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and on the official George Foreman cooking website.
Still in production.
We meant to do a no kitchen required with a George Foreman grill.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get some recipes going.
Here we go. We'll cook our master's dinner menus exclusively on the George Foreman grill.
Yeah. That should get interesting when we get to like the cheesecakes and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Roasted vegetables on the George Foreman grill.
I would try that for
Oh
sure.
my goodness. All right. Quickly transitioning to our favorite athletes to our number 21. This is the 21st episode of the new year in 2025 for No Credentials Required. We're talking about our favorite athletes to wear the number corresponding with the episode. And this is episode 21. So therefore, we are talking about our favorite athletes to ever wear number 21. And we're going to do this really quick because it's been over an hour and a half talking sports, food, and such.
Yeah.
Dustin, your favorite number 21.
All right, this one's going to be easy for me. I didn't have to think about this one for very long at all. And I told you that we were going to enter a Yankee stretch at some point on the show. Here we are. Number 21, Paul O'Neill.
Hey.
Paul O'Neill, when he was acquired from the Cincinnati Reds, one of my or signed. I can't remember whether he's a
He was
free
traded for Roberto. He was in a trade for Roberto Kelly, and I remember
That's
Yankees fans being pissed.
Yeah,
that
no,
they
well,
traded Roberto Kelly.
yeah.
It worked out, didn't it?
Yeah, look how that worked out. I loved Paul O'Neill, his fieriness. You would always see him after a bad at bat. He'd be punching the water cooler in there. He really played. He just embodied a spirit of the Yankees for me, and it's why those teams. I mentioned Jorge Posada last episode for the content because I didn't want it to just be all about Barry Sanders, even though Barry Sanders, the man. But Paul O'Neill, he just fit in with New York. New York really embraced him once he got to town. And one of my favorite stories, this happened while he was still in Cincinnati. My dad told me this story, and I've always remembered it, that Cincinnati, Paul O'Neill, there was a hit. The game was tied, and there was a hit to right field where Paul O'Neill played, and he knew he wasn't going to get to the ball. So he kicked it out of frustration. Well, the kick went to the cutoff man. And after the game, the manager came up to Paul, or I can't remember whether it was his manager or one of his teammates. And he said, Paul, if you had a little bit more on that cutoff throw, it would have made it, and we possibly could have got the guy at home. And Paul O'Neill said, no, you don't understand. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to the ball, so I kicked it because I was pissed off. Mm-hmm. and it still hit the cutoff, man. I love that. I love that story. But Paul O'Neill, just the ultimate competitor. His career with the Yankees speaks for itself. His fieriness. He was the warrior. That was one of his nicknames, and he really embodied that spirit. He was always going to fight with everything he had, sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively. Love Paul O'Neill and his fiery spirit. He's my favorite to wear number 21, and I still miss his name being called out at roll call. And also, I love hearing him call games with Michael Kay. They got a special little chemistry going. I always love when Paulio is opposite Michael Kay. One of my favorite clips, go look it up. It's Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill talking about when a Yankees food vendor drops a plate of cookies in Yankee Stadium. It's one of my favorite clips. Go look that one up.
And also collaborated on a very good beer.
Yes.
As Warrior 21 IPA.
Yes, I just had it for the first time last week. And of course, I should have known. I sent a picture to Ryan. I said, have you had this? He said, yes, very good. I should have known that he would get to the beer before I did.
Gotta get to the beer before you do. Yeah, it's Wolf and Warrior, Northeast IPA with a special collaboration with Paul O'Neill. It's delightful. If you can get it at your local brewery or local beverage distributor, it's a collab with Citra, Strata, Lotus, and Mosaic hops. Mm-hmm. Huge tropical vibes and a deep orange crushable body. Home run, baby!
Yeah, it's very good. Really good.
All right, for my number 21, I'm going to go basketball with this one.
All right.
And this is going to be much to Dustin's chagrin because it's his chief rival that I'm going to talk about here and gush over for the next couple minutes.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah. Okay. I know where you're going.
Tim Duncan.
All right, I'll keep quiet.
But I remember his back in 1995. It was right before my brother Jeremy went to the Navy, and this was my senior year in high school. that Wake Forest team that I hoped was going to start a new dynasty in the ACC. They played in they were with the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, yep.
And that team was incredible with Randolph Childress at guard. They went to they won the ACC that year. I think they beat Duke. No, they beat North Carolina in the championship game. I remember that game because it was the last meal before my brother went to basic in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And we watched that game at our old house in Waterford. Downstairs, we were watching that game and we were just cheering on. We're like, this is awesome. Tim Duncan. And I Randolph Childress was like the guy of that team. Like he was the leader of that team, but you could tell Tim Duncan, I think he was a freshman that year. You could tell that Tim Duncan was going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He played, and this is in an era where you played all 4 years.
Yep.
Or you declared after your junior year. He stuck in school all 4 years. He stayed at Wake Forest all 4 years. And he actually no, I'm sorry. He only took 3 years for him to graduate.
Oh, okay.
He actually co-authored a social psychology book.
Wow.
And he actually has a degree in psychology. He entered the draft in 97 and was the number 1 overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs. And that was the year it was the year that David Robinson was out for basically the entire year. I believe he tore his Achilles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
And then they bring in Duncan, and it took them only 2 years, but they got all the way to the finals and they beat the New York Knicks in 5 games. The gentleman's sweep in 1999. And from there, you just kind of saw that Tim Duncan's stock just like continue to rise. And here's the thing about his career, which I appreciate. He didn't make it all about himself. He was the ultimate team guy. It's the same thing at Wake Forest. Even though he was the leader of that team for 2 of the years that he was there, he was the most quiet leader ever. Like he led by example. He didn't lead by being like beating your chest and being a macho dude, but he was just that quiet leader, that calm presence in the locker room, and was just the guy that you followed because he put in the work.
Yeah, he did.
Played 20 seasons in the NBA as power forward at center. Was a part of. He was a part of the 2004 Olympic team in Athens that won bronze. Unfortunately, he never won a gold medal in the Olympics, which is sad. In the Basketball Hall of Fame, won 2 FIBA Americas championships in 1999 and 2003. Won a gold medal at the University Games in 1995 with the United States. That's the one thing that I think I wouldn't say it was unfortunate for him, but he won. He's 5-time NBA champion, 3-time in Finals MVP, most valuable player twice, but he never won a gold medal. And I think, and I was hoping he would, but that was the 2004 team that was just awful. Awful. I mean, and as far as USA basketball standards,
yeah,
because it was the first time that they lost a game in the group stage. They got absolutely speedboated by Puerto Rico, if I remember correctly. And they limped their way to the medal round. They got beat by Argentina, who wound up winning the gold medal with future teammate Manu Ginobili.
Yep.
And they limped to a bronze medal. They almost lost to Lithuania. If I remember correctly, they almost lost to Lithuania in the bronze medal game. So, but Tim Duncan, like one of those guys who was he was a big man. He led by example.
Mm-hmm.
Actually he wanted to be an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, wow.
But he was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands. He wanted to be an Olympic swimmer. He was wanted to be a competitive swimmer, but after Hurricane Hugo moved through the islands and when he was 14, he switched over to basketball, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
all
I'd
those
say.
accolades, and being part of those teams, especially the being part of the Twin Towers team. Not talking about Big Boss Man and Akeem. I'm talking about Tim Robinson, Tim Duncan, and David Robinson.
Yep, the Admiral and Timmy, as one Sports Center anchor used to call him. I can't remember, but I do love
the big fundamental.
Yeah, that's what Shaq called him. I was just about to say that, and I will tell you, as a Mavs fan, I respected Tim Duncan, but he annoyed me because you could not stop that shot off the glass. He knew how to do it at the perfect angle. It was going in every time. And people used to say, oh, he uses the glass. Well, stop it then. Figure out how to stop him. And guess what? You couldn't. And like you said, he put in the work. The only thing that drove me crazy about Tim Duncan is anytime a foul was called on him, he would do the same thing. He'd have his hands out and like his eyes would get big. It's like, all right, Tim, you fouled him. All right. Not every time that you fouled somebody, you're like, what? I didn't do anything. That was what the expression said to me. And I'm like, okay, Tim, you definitely fouled him. Stop doing this. But nobody could stop. His game was not flashy, but it got it done every single time. And if he needed to put the team on his back, he could do it. And those Spurs teams had a lot of people. But when they needed to win a game, they went to Tim, because Bruce Bowen was a defensive stopper. Manu Ginobili was a star. Tony Parker, he made the big headlines. He was a great distributing point guard, great player, and he married Eva Longoria and then stepped out on her later in life. What are you doing with that? But
I know, right?
I know. But whenever they needed to win a big game, you would see the ball in Tim Duncan's hands late, and he would be making that shot off the glass and just absolutely decimating people.
Yeah. Honorable mention for number 21 to LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh, yeah. I thought about LaDainian.
Those 2 years we all know him as a Charger.
Yes.
San Diego Charger, by the way.
Yes.
But those 2 years with the Jets, those were 2 magical years. But at the end of 2010, he was just like, 2011, when they missed out. They had that team that could have took that next step and go to the Super Bowl. He dipped out on them afterwards because the environment was just so toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those 3 years, those 2 years, 2009, 2010, he was with the Jets. Magical.
I really did think about LaDainian Tomlinson. He would have been my number 2 because he was just one of those. You know that feeling you get, Ryan, when you realize, okay, I just watched somebody really great play, and I'm glad that I got the chance to watch him play because LaDainian in his prime, as good as anybody. Hard to stop. To stop.
I got to see Tom Brady, Peyton Manning,
play
live and in person. But
that's amazing.
They were on other teams.
Yeah.
All right, we have been talking long enough.
Yes, we have.
But we're going to get out of here. Before we do that, just want to remind you, quick bracket update. I hit 27 of 32 picks.
Oh, wow. Doing pretty good. Did you get burned by McNeese beating Clemson?
I did not. I had McNeese.
Okay.
I got burned by UC San Diego, though. But I mean, Michigan lost only by what? Michigan only beat them by 3. And I thought Michigan, I did the research on it, and Michigan apparently is a turnover machine, like the Wolverines baking company. And I guess UC San Diego was one of the best defensive teams in the nation. I'm like, this has got to be a pick. So I missed out on them. Out on that one. But it's a good bracket so far. I'm 6th in the Levac and Gaz League, the brackets. I'm 4th in the Ice Shaker League bracket, and I'm 4th in the I think I'm 6th in the belly up bracket.
Belly up. So. Yep. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm 3rd. I'm
wow.
3rd. Yeah.
Wow, there
I'm
you
doing
go.
Pretty well. But this is usually where you see the separation after the round of 32. This is where it starts. But all right, we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back on Tuesday for our show at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. But in the meantime, give us a follow on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. And also check out other podcasts and written articles on bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, and Pandora. And also, please don't forget to hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube. That way you know when show announcements go up, when live shows go up, and when any video clips go up that we might make afterwards. And also, if you missed the show, the video program will be on later on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. It's also available. The audio-only version will be available on YouTube, on our YouTube page, when it's downloaded, when it's uploaded. On the podcast side, also subscribe. You can also rate, review, comment, leave us a 5-star rating would be very helpful. Leave us a review where you can leave a review. And also on Spotify, leave us a comment. And also, if you're watching on Belly Up Sports on the YouTube page, leave a comment in the description and leave a comment below. Like, what's your master's meal? What ballpark food do you want to try later? Who's your favorite number 21? And also leave us any comments about NFL free agency as well. But that's going to do it for our program, the Saturday Brunch edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll be back on Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, talking who knows what.
We'll figure it out because we just went hours on food.
Yes, we did. We went a long time on food, but we'll talk about sports on Friday or Tuesday.
There we go.
I need to stop. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.